Sungmin runs with all his might, chased by multiple goblins roaring fiercely as they close in on him. The entrance to the building is just ahead, and with a desperate leap, he dives inside, immediately shouting for the others to act. Inside, 3 men stand ready, each gripping an improvised spear. One of them acknowledges his effort with a smirk, while another comments on the overwhelming number of goblins he has brought with him. Without hesitation, they engage the charging creatures, weapons clashing in a fierce struggle. The goblins fight back relentlessly, but the group presses on, steadily cutting them down. As the battle continues, the goblins begin to weaken. The men recognize the shift and prepare for a final assault, but Sunjiab, exuding confidence, suggests showing them something interesting. With precise strength, he hurls his spear, the force of the throw instantly impaling the leading goblins. His display of skill leaves the others visibly impressed. Once the fight settles, Sunjiab casually inquires about their kill count. One claims to have taken down 22, while the other reports 23. He then points out that, together, they have slain over 100 goblins, leaving the others surprised by the sheer number. Meanwhile, Sungmin, still fuming, confronts Sunjiab over the misinformation he had given earlier. He had been assured there would only be a handful of goblins, yet the horde that chased him had been far larger. Sunjiab, however, remains indifferent, dismissing the concern by emphasizing that the outcome has been favorable. They are about to secure a new home. His nonchalant attitude only fuels Sungmin's frustration further, as he recalls how close he had come to death because of the misleading information. Sunjiab appears frustrated, his cold demeanor reflecting his irritation. He reminds the group that he was the one who devised this hunting method and formulated the plan, while the improvised spears were crafted by the twins. He also points out that it was Sungmin himself who had confidently claimed to be skilled at running, leaving Sungmin momentarily speechless, unable to form a response. Without hesitation, Sunjiab adds that if Sungmin is unhappy, he is free to leave the team, as his presence makes little difference at this point. Before tensions escalate further, one of the twins immediately steps in, attempting to calm Sunjiab down while also offering words of praise to Sungmin for his efforts. The other twin follows suit, reassuring Sungmin that he did an excellent job baiting the goblins and emphasizing how his speed played a crucial role in their success. Sunjiab, however, continues to voice his irritation, complaining that Sungmin always manages to get under his skin. At this, the first twin urges Sungmin to apologize, which he reluctantly does, effectively defusing the conflict. With the matter settled, Sunjiab shifts focus back to their objective, stating that it is time to move on to the 21st floor and secure their new home. However, upon arrival, they are met with unexpected news from Dabin. Another team has already claimed the reward. Shock washes over Sunjiab and his group as they struggle to comprehend the possibility of another team having slain 100 goblins even earlier than they did. Disbelief sets in, and Sunjiab briefly considers whether Dabin might be joking, but she quickly assures him that she is serious, even pointing out the group responsible for the feat. To their surprise, the team consists of a young, fit man accompanied by an elderly man and his wife. As Dabin inquires about the house, the young man explains that, in exchange for forfeiting the new home, Mr. Jiho's household will be supplied with electricity, food, and other necessities. Furthermore, Mr. Jiho's daughters will no longer be required to undertake quests. When Dabin raises a concern about the daughters being underage, Mr. Jiho swiftly clarifies that they are already adults. His wife chimes in, playfully adding that their daughters merely appear younger, much like herself. She then goes on to reveal that their daughters are proficient archers, just like her, though their father tends to worry about them excessively. The young man acknowledges this, mentioning that the couple will also receive bows and arrows as part of the arrangement. Dabin, curious about their next move, asks if they intend to continue hunting goblins. Without hesitation, the young man confirms, explaining that Jaehyun has requested the extermination of nearby goblins, as the creatures keep appearing no matter how many are slain. Sunjiab's frustration reaches its peak as he claims that the other group is receiving unfair special privileges. In response, the young man calmly explains that to address any concerns of inequality, Jaehyun has arranged for the second and third teams to receive rewards on the 30th floor. Dabin then turns to Sunjiab, pointing out that things have actually worked out in their favor and instructing him to take his team to the 30th floor, where Jaehyun will be waiting for them. As they ascend in the elevator, Sunjiab discusses his observations with his team, noting that Jaehyun appears to be younger than them. Yet Dabin shows him an unusual level of respect. One of the twins chimes in, remarking that Jaehyun is no god, more like a cult leader. However, Sungmin interjects, arguing that since they are benefiting from Jaehyun's abilities and protection, it isn't right to speak of him in that manner, especially when they are all trying to win his favor. Sunjiab, clearly displeased, shoots him an icy glare, making it clear that the discussion isn't over. As the elevator doors open on the 30th floor, Sunjiab pointedly tells Sungmin that they will have a talk later. Upon arrival, Jaehyun approaches them, and the entire team is momentarily stunned by his presence. Sunjiab quickly composes himself and humbly introduces himself, only for Jaehyun to casually shake his hand and comment on how well they utilize the barrier, praising their strategy. Sunjiab, taken aback, immediately asks how Jaehyun knows about that, but Jaehyun offers no explanation, instead moving straight to the matter at hand. He announces that electricity, water, and gas will now be supplied to units 1301 and 1502. Sunjiab, unable to hide his skepticism, questions whether such a thing is even possible and how it will be done. Jaehyun responds matter-of-factly, stating that since they successfully hunted 100 goblins, they qualify for the benefits. Without missing a beat, he then coldly addresses the earlier comment about him being a cult leader, making it clear that he has no interest in becoming a god or playing such a role. The team, caught off guard by his words, is left in stunned silence. Jaehyun then shifts the conversation, informing them that he actually has a request to make. Sunjiab and his group sprint through the streets, chased by massive orcs, their heavy footsteps pounding against the ground. With every ounce of strength, they push forward, turning sharply into a narrow alley on the right. Sunjiab signals to Dongan, who acknowledges with a nod and steps forward, his lance already aimed at their pursuers. A system interface materializes, revealing Dongan's information. At level 33, his titles, 6th Angel, Knight, and Lancer, define his combat prowess. His loyalty points stand at 70, while his faith points reach 78. His awakened skills, throw and thrust, activate in an instant. The throw skill consumes mental energy to hurl an object with 5 times the attack power, while thrust consumes health to deliver a devastating spear stab, generating a powerful energy wave upon impact. As a knight, his physical abilities increase proportionally to his loyalty, and the experience and loot gained from monsters hunted by his vassals are tripled. As a lancer, his mastery over the spear enhances his attack power, currently an 11% proficiency. With a powerful motion, Dongan hurls his spear forward. It cuts through the air at terrifying speed, piercing one of the 3 orcs and sending it crashing to the ground. The second orc, unfazed, charges at him with its blade raised high, ready to strike. Before it can close in, an arrow shoots through its forehead, stopping it instantly, a well-placed shot from Dongan's partner. The third orc barely has a moment to react before Dongan pulls out another spear and finishes it off. The system interface flashes again, updating their progress. Experience points flood in, and a notification appears. 3,211,098 won has been deposited into the Supreme of the Home's wallet. The mission status updates, confirming that the group has successfully completed their quest to hunt 100 orcs. A family of 3 stands frozen in fear, their expressions filled with terror for what had just occurred. Meanwhile, Dongan offers them a reassuring smile before leading them toward Jaehyun's building. As they approach, Jaehyun received a system notification that an unauthorized object is attempting to enter and that an individual eligible for citizenship has arrived. The system prompts him, asking if he would like to offer citizenship. Jaehyun contemplates the situation. This time, there are 3 people, bringing the total number of citizens exactly to 200. Without hesitation, he instructs the system to grant them citizenship. A notification follows, confirming that the citizen count has reached 200, triggering the unlocking of a new skill, tax collection. The system details its effects, allowing him to collect 10% of the cash held by citizens without reducing their actual wealth. The skill, however, comes with a cooldown period of 30 days. Understanding the implications, Jaehyun recognizes that this system function allows him to recover a portion of the distributed funds. However, he also realizes that the returns are gradual, requiring 10 months to recover his initial capital. The urgency of his situation weighs heavily on him, as saving his parents cannot wait that long. He determines that Dongan's team must be deployed to Nam-Bumindong as soon as possible. To accelerate progress, he decides to distribute 30% of the funds immediately, considering it an investment rather than an expense. Another system notification appears, indicating that the skill level has increased. Proclamation of the Home has reached level 10, and Jaehyun has gained 3 skill points. Suddenly, a massive dome of dark aura expands, engulfing the entire building. The system acknowledges the event, notifying Jaehyun that he has successfully proclaimed a home throughout an entire apartment building. A final message follows, stating that 1 billion won has been deposited in subsidies and that the construction function has been activated. The system displays a list of facilities available for construction. The solar generator requires an investment of 133 million, the store 219 million, and the gym 300 million, while the total subsidy stands at 1 billion. The projected annual production is only 30 million won, leaving Jaehyun dumbfounded at the realization that he will be earning just 30 million per year. This means that recovering the cost of the solar generator alone will take at least 5 years of continuous operation. The system prompts him to confirm whether he wants to install the solar generator. He hesitates, recognizing the immediate financial strain and considering that leveling up Dongan might be a better choice for now. However, his attention shifts to the 1 billion subsidy, which functions as a dedicated fund solely for construction. The realization excites him, as it means the money is entirely separate from his personal funds. Without hesitation, he selects the option to install the solar generator. A countdown for the construction begins, displaying 24 hours remaining, and his remaining subsidy balance adjusts to 867 million. Considering the benefits, Jaehyun briefly entertains the idea of installing a second solar generator, only to receive a warning notification stating that only one can be installed per apartment building. Accepting the restriction, he turns his attention to the store facility, reviewing its description. The system details that the store connects directly to the home sovereign store skill, allowing him to sell registered items instantly. The most intriguing aspect is its automated functionality. It requires no separate cashier, and when a payment is made in front of a transparent item, the item materializes in real time. Jaehyun considers how, up until now, preparing and distributing supplies has been a manual task. With the store, citizens will be able to purchase items themselves, and he will have control over pricing. This means he can adjust the fund distribution rate for everyone, creating a more efficient system. With this in mind, he decides to install the store. The system prompts him to choose a location, and he selects apartment 101. A countdown appears, showing 48 hours until the store is completed. Shifting his focus to the gym, he reviews its benefits. As a basic training center, it enhances citizens' strength and physical endurance, while boosting exercise efficiency by 200%. Excited by the possibilities, he realizes that combining the gym with mission rewards will significantly improve overall progress. Without hesitation, he designates the entire second floor for the gym. The system begins the countdown, displaying 72 hours until construction is complete. The system then updates him on his available skill points, which have now reached 3. The Home Sovereign store has leveled up to 5, increasing the number of registrable items to 500. Additionally, a categorization function has been introduced, allowing products to be purchased individually or in bulk, while similar items can now be grouped together. Curious about the available products, he clicks on the water option, revealing a list of different brands. Although not everything is available, he notices a much wider range of choices than before. Checking other categories like noodles, he sees a variety of options and recognizes the potential of this feature, remarking on how useful it will be moving forward. Deoksu, dressed in full knightly armor, battles fiercely against an orc, delivering a powerful slash that cuts it cleanly in half. As the creature collapses, Dongan calls out to him with a curious question about what would happen if he were to throw Deoksu's weapon. Caught off guard, Deoksu questions the sudden inquiry, but before he can press further, Dongan asks him to hand over the weapon, claiming he wants to test something. Taking the spear, Dongan carefully aims before launching it with incredible force. Deoksu watches in shock before shouting at Dongan for recklessly throwing away his weapon. However, Dongan remains calm, instructing him to simply cancel the summon and call it back. Hesitant but intrigued, Deoksu attempts it, and to his amazement, the weapon instantly reappears in his hand. Stunned, he can't help but ask if Dongan is some kind of genius. Dongan, maintaining his composure, dismisses the praise, insisting that Deoksu is just overreacting. Meanwhile, the female archer, observing the scene, informs them that she needs to leave as she is running low on arrows. However, just as she is about to depart, a fresh set of arrows suddenly materializes on the ground before her. Eyes widening in disbelief, she hesitates, trying to comprehend what just happened. A shocked expression crosses her face as she processes what just happened. The system interface appears, displaying information about a skill called multitasking, which allows other skills to be used within the observed area of the absolute eye. Testing the new ability, she fires an arrow, successfully taking down another orc. The system immediately registers their victory, notifying them that a level 19 orc has been defeated, granting experience points and depositing 2,100,388 won into the absolute ruler of the house's wallet. The system then updates with additional information, revealing the female archer's name as Kim Gaeon. Along with Deoksu, Dongan, Byongo, Hyerin, and Jian, she has completed the quest. The quest cost of 2,332,581 is deducted, and Gaeong's level increases. Jaehyun watches the system notifications, processing the information. He acknowledges that it is indeed possible to increase stats through quest rewards. A serious expression settles on his face as he finally starts to see some hope. Mentally calculating the distance, he estimates that traveling from their current location to the main house spans approximately 10 kilometers, requiring around 3 hours on foot. Determined, Jaehyun enters the elevator and ascends to the highest point of the building. From the rooftop, he surveys the surrounding area, taking in the total ruin of the cityscape. A sense of urgency washes over him. They need to move quickly. He considers prioritizing Dongan's party and checks the system interface for information on Kim Jian. Currently at level 22, Kim Jian holds the title 7th bell and has 59 trust points and 33 loyalty points. His awakened ability, Crow Familiar, appears useful for reconnaissance. Next, Jaehyun reviews Oh Eonju's information. At level 33, she has 51 trust points and 12 loyalty points. Her awakened ability, Were Bear, enhances her combat strength. Her experience distribution rate is 70%, while her settlement fund distribution rate is 30%. Lastly, he checks Kim Dejung, who stands at level 30 with the title 8th bell. She has 70 trust points and 63 loyalty points. Her awakened abilities include Heal, Bless, and Magic Armor. Her experience distribution rate is set to 100%. Jaehyun considers the composition of the mission team. Including Oh Eonju and Kim Dejung makes sense given their abilities, but he remains cautious about Oh Eonju's relatively low loyalty. The system displays additional details about Kim Dejung's awakened abilities. Bless consumes mental strength to temporarily boost a target's physical abilities by 70%, while magic armor uses mental strength to generate protective magical armor. From this information, Jaehyun recognizes the sheer efficiency of these abilities from the outset, considering them overwhelmingly strong. However, his thoughts drift toward another possibility, the resurrection of Sun. Checking the system, he attempts to activate the resurrection function, but an alert notifies him that the available funds are insufficient, instructing him to increase his balance and try again. He decides to set this aside for now and instead focuses on maximizing the quest difficulty. Entering the quest details, he selects a target, hunting a monster of level 40 or higher. A level 40 monster would undoubtedly be formidable, and the rewards would be substantial. The system outlines the quest conditions, a 24-hour time limit, with failure resulting in death. Before he can proceed, another system notification appears, once again indicating that his funds are insufficient. Realizing his current balance is nowhere near enough, he momentarily hesitates. Just then, a new system message arrives, informing him that the recent level 19 orc hunt has been processed, depositing 2,788,221 won into his wallet. Stunned by the sudden income, he wastes no time and immediately re-enters the quest details. The conditions remain the same, hunting a monster of level 40 or above with a 24-hour time limit. The reward is confirmed as the resurrection of Sun, and the penalty for failure remains death. Without hesitation, he selects yes, fully aware that his first priority must be securing Oh Yeonju's complete loyalty. Shortly after, he hears frantic knocking at his door. When he opens it, Oh Yeonju stands before him, gasping for breath, having rushed over the moment she saw the quest. Desperation fills her expression as she struggles to find words. Jaehyun calmly reassures her, confirming that it is possible, though bound by a strict time limit. At his words, she collapses onto the floor, breaking down in raw emotion. Tears stream down her face as she thanks him repeatedly, claiming that even if only for a single day, as long as she can see them again, it will be enough. At that moment, the system issues another notification. Oh Yeonju's loyalty has surpassed 30, officially meeting the requirements for vassal registration. Jaehyun stands at the washing sink, watching the running faucet as water flows freely. The tap had opened on its own, but instead of being startled, he simply sighs in relief. He is starting to get used to this newfound control, the sensation almost making him feel like a wizard. A sense of satisfaction settles in as he acknowledges his growing command over 3 essential utilities: electricity, water, and gas. A system notification interrupts his thoughts, informing him that the daily sales of the store have been settled. A total of 320,981 won has been deposited into his wallet. He smiles, realizing that even with a mere 20% profit margin, today's store sales exceeded 1.5 million won. Through the eyes of the Absolute, he is able to oversee the store remotely without needing to be there physically, reinforcing his control over the operations. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a young man questions his companion about their savings goal. His partner responds, estimating that the bao he is eyeing costs 150,000 won and that they have managed to save around 10,000 won today. At this rate, it would take them about 2 weeks to afford it. The young man scoffs at the calculation, reminding his partner that they also need to budget for ramen and water during that time. Frustrated, the partner concedes, telling him to do the math himself if he thinks he is so smart. Jaehyun reflects on how drastically the atmosphere has shifted simply by distributing settlement funds. Ever since the mysterious space known as a convenience store appeared on the first floor of the apartment complex, even the smallest amounts of change obtained from hunting goblins have begun to stimulate people's drive. Residents have started venturing beyond the apartment complex to hunt, resulting in steady level-ups and a noticeable increase in participation. The system reveals the current population count, 789 out of a possible 11,000 slots. Observing this rapid growth, Jaehyun anticipates that the numbers will soon rise exponentially. Jaehyun receives another system notification. He has successfully hunted a level 18 orc, and 1,243,817 won has been deposited into his wallet. Meanwhile, Oh Yeonju, fully transformed into her were-bear form, eliminates multiple goblins with ease. As she reverts to her human form, her teammates, Gaeong and Dejung, check on her, asking if she is alright. Yeonju reassures them that even if she gets a little injured, it's nothing to her. She then apologizes for taking most of the kills, explaining that she has her reasons. Gaeong, however, reassures her, saying that thanks to her, they can fight comfortably and safely, so it's not an issue. Observing their dynamic, Jaehyun confirms that bringing Yeonju into Jung was the right decision. He checks Yeonju's updated stats. She has reached level 40 and has earned the title 9th bell. Her trust and loyalty points have both increased to 66. Her awakened abilities now include Were-Bear and Primordial Life Force, while her experience distribution rate has surged to 200%. Her skill set is formidable. The warrior skill enhances close combat attacks by 50%. Primordial Life Force, an A-rank ability, drastically accelerates regeneration the more injury she sustains. Most alarming, however, is her S-rank skill, Berserk. When triggered by the sight of blood, Her eyes turn red, and her physical abilities increase by an astounding 300%. Just as they process this information, a sharp cracking sound echoes through the battlefield. The three women snap their attention forward, their senses on high alert. Moments later, a massive goblin emerges from the shadows.